first set is dead even.
Unbelievable combination.
Wow.
Beautifully done.
What a great spot.
Hello and welcome to the 2025-26 APTA Tour. We're live from the Cleveland Racquet Club in Pepper Pike, Ohio, bringing you the 2025 Cleveland Masters with live streaming brought to you by the APTA membership and tour presenting sponsor, Corient. Tournament support has also been provided by the following local sponsors: Compass Group, Trumbold Equipment Company, Carnegie Investment Council, Elk and Elk, Jerasee's Restaurant, Gilmore Security, Simple Solutions, Jerasee's Slice Shop, and Viking. I'm Billy Horn, along with Chris Clamp, bringing you the women's semifinal match between the number 3 seed Jessica Guyaux and Mary Wilson Graves and the number 2 seed Kerry Delmonico and Lauren Gebbia. Our chair umpire for this match is Dave Najedlik. Chris, glad to have you here for what should be an exciting match.
I'm very excited to be here, and I can't wait to see some top-level paddle.
Yeah, we've had a good day here so far. We're in the semifinals. These two teams, the number 3 seed of Guyaux and Wilson Graves, and the number 2 seed Delmonico and Gebbia. I happened to watch Delmonico Gebbia play their quarterfinal match, and they looked very strong. They are a team with a lot of seasons under their belt. Delmonico, has been a national champion before, both in mixed doubles and in women's doubles. Lauren Gebbia, as well, is also a mixed finalist. These two have a lot of skills, and I would expect from them that Gebbia will be playing some strong ground strokes from the back, while Delmonico has a good mix of lobs and probing drives to try and set up those bigger drives from Gebbia. Chris, can you tell us a little bit about Jess Guyaux and her partner, Mary Wilson Graves?
I don't know Mary real well, but I'll tell you, Jess she's been coming here for years because she's from Pittsburgh, and it's close enough that she's been coming for several years, and she always has good results here. She's a very intense player. She's laser focused. I would imagine that's one of her better attributes on the court, because this is a girl who's absolutely doesn't blink. She's going after everything. She doesn't play a lot of loose points, so she doesn't give you a lot to work with. But I'm looking forward to seeing the mix between her and her partner. I got to watch a little of that match before, and they were for a team that hasn't maybe played a ton of paddle, they seem to be working together very nicely.
Yeah, Jess Guyaux is no stranger to the national scene. She actually used to play with Kerry Delmonico and was a semifinalist at Women's Nationals a few years back. Mary Wilson Graves is a little newer. They're a newer team together. I do know that they played last year at the Western Pennsylvania National Rankings Tournament and won that together.
Right.
But with the knowledge that Jess Guyaux has, being a partner with Kerry Delmonico before, a lot of the tactical stuff that Delmonico can bring, she might have some knowledge of that on how to defend it, and have some plans ahead of time.
Absolutely.
I know. Yeah, Mary Wilson Graves has a really good forehand and likes her serve a lot, and when she's in net has a good cutter overhead, which should be a nice complement to how well Jessica Guyaux volleys and how smart she is.
I'll tell you where we absolutely lucked out today is they called for some rain, and it felt about half an hour ago the wind here really picked up and dropped like 5 degrees, but now you can feel it warming up again and the wind's dying down. So I think we're gonna get lucky here. Knock on wood, of course.
That's good to hear. We had a little rain last week out at the Grand Prix in Chicago. Generally avoided it, but definitely on that Saturday night we had some rain come through.
Yeah, I'll tell you, there's really nothing worse than rain for a paddle player, is there? Nobody wants that ball skidding.
Still above 50 degrees out there?
Yeah, right now it's up to 60 actually, so it's balmy.
It looks like the players are getting ready. We're going to play best 2 out of 3 sets for this match, regular scoring with ads. We have Carrie Delmonico at the bottom of our screen with the backwards hat. Her partner, Lauren Gebbia, with the white hat at the bottom of the screen. Up at the top of the screen, we have Mary Wilson Graves in the maroon shirt, and her partner, Jessica Guyaux, in the blue hat, white shirt at the very top of our screen.
All right, here we go.
And Delmonico is going to take us away. Here's an early example of that forehand from Mary Wilson Graves. I have a feeling these teams are set up very similarly, with Jessica Guyaux and the complement on the other side of the court, Carrie Delmonico, being the tacticians, patient, smart, putting their lobs in good places, and then Wilson Graves and Lauren Gebbia, bringing really strong offense off of their ground strokes.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing in this first couple of points here is, they're playing conservative and feeling each other out and making sure they're getting into a rhythm before they start tipping their hat to show you what they may come up with later at bigger points.
It looks like Delmonico Gebbia may be willing to test Wilson Graves early in this. Once they get the net, make that first volley, which is tough against these two returners. Looks like they want to get that ball to Wilson Graves' screens and see how she handles, the defensive part of the game. She's clearly got a very big forehand.
Yeah, she was fiery in that last match. It was pretty impressive. Pushing each other back and forth right now. Running a formation early.
And that's in defense of a well-placed drive. Little fault from, potentially a foot fault maybe from Delmonico.
I believe you're right. And I have heard a few of those called today, so they're definitely looking for it. Yeah. It's indefensible right there.
Delmonico Gebbia, they've played together for more than a handful of years. They, great communication on court, friends off the court. They run a camp together early in the season. They know, the ins and outs of each other's game, which helps so much. They're from Jersey, and Guyaux and Wilson Graves are a team based out of Pittsburgh, not far away.
I think to your point, when they ran the formation there, they didn't even really have to communicate. They just sort of looked at each other, went into it when they know that's the right strategy, and they didn't have to talk about where are you serving, where am I going. They know what's happening. See, the sky is lightening up out there. That's a good sign. It was getting darker quick, so we're looking good.
That's good. In the other semi, we have the number 1 seed of Halbauer Morgan taking on Parinello and Pike, the number 4 seed. So all 4 seeds making it through the draw to the semis in the women's event. If there's one, slight critique, watching Delmonico and Gebbia is sometimes you'll see, Gebbia get a little bit impatient, not willing to sit out there and lob a whole ton of balls. She likes to hit. She likes to bring offense, and sometimes goes a little bit cold. But again, you have a great partnership, and they'll lift each other up as they play.
Yeah. As their opponents play them, they'll probably, even if it's maybe not to their own advantage to slow the ball down, if they know it's to the other team's disadvantage, they might be willing to play a little higher percentage just to just to get under their skin and see if they can get them to make a few mistakes early.
We have Wilson Graves serving and her partner Guyaux at net. Gebbia playing the deuce court at the top of your screen with the white hat, and Delmonico the ad at the top of your screen.
We're seeing some mistakes early out of everybody. I don't know if it's nerves or...
Yeah, you'd expect that to iron itself out as we work into it, and the blood starts flowing.
Points get a little more important as we go along, and maybe they bring the margins in a little bit. Some great footwork there.
Something we saw in the quarterfinal match from Delmonico Gebbia is Delmonico lobbing straight up the line from her position in the ad court, and really asking a lot of that deuce court volleyer on the other side of the net how far they want to go back to cover, or if the opposing ad court player wants to go behind the deuce court. She's really opening up the court and asking a lot of questions of the overhead hitter.
I'll tell you, the best shots we've seen so far are some of these really softer drives that are dive bombing at the toes. Those little off speeders are tough to volley up and in.
That's true, Chris. Sometimes those power drives can do the work for you as a volleyer.
Well
if you
said.
Get yourself set.
Well said.
Nice roller overhead there by Wilson Graves. Having not seen her much, she looks like she has a lot of variety in her overhead game. And you can see Guyaux just placing that overhead deep and slow, not giving her opponents a lot to work with.
Having seen Guyaux play a few times here in Cleveland over the years, I don't know if she has some of the big roller shots. I'm sure she can let the ball drop and have some variety, but I think what we just witnessed there is that was some nice racket head acceleration, yet the ball still stayed under control. So Wilson Graves, I think, has some good variety that will be helping the team out.
Wilson Graves both Guyaux and Wilson Graves played college tennis. Wilson Graves at Quinnipiac, and Guyaux at Maryland. So, the racket skills are there, just like Delmonico and Gebbia. Gebbia played for BC, and Delmonico played for Emmanuel. A fun fact, Delmonico is actually a 3-sport college athlete.
Oh.
Which, very impressive. A lot of athleticism.
Yeah.
That's a great example of that down the line lob. It's tough for the volleyer to reach. Difficult for the player cross court to go behind to take it.
And a high percentage shot to boot.
Mm-hmm. Here we go, testing Wilson Graves on those screens. How patient can you be? Can you lob it deep? Can you put us under pressure? Delmonico, master of putting overheads in a variety of places. Misdirection.
Nice sneaky backhand, but they were ready for it.
I think this is the type of point we're going to see a lot of today, Chris. A little back and forth, a lot of good lobs. It's going to come down to discipline, communication from those teams who are at the net, and experience. That's the question mark I think Wilson Graves and Guyaux have to answer, because Delmonico and Gebbia bring years of experience.
Couple of faults in this game. Might be nerves. Looking for a soft push. Landing about 2 feet inside the service line here.
think she was going for it. It's just a good deep serve
Right.
from Wilson Graves.
Right.
A little miscommunication.
Well, high five with the paddles.
Gebbia likes that play, though. She likes that backhand in the middle of the court. She likes to be a hitter, wants to put pressure on. And there you see our other semifinals. Halbauer and Morgan taking the first set pretty quickly.
Very impressive team in their own right.
Absolutely. They played together a month back at Medina and won that tournament. Typically, Morgan, is playing with Charlotte Sikora, but loves to play these tournaments and be out here. And I also like that combination of Halbauer Morgan. That's a fun team, fun mix-up.
They're definitely having fun together. I mean, it's all smiles out there.
All right, there's a hold from Wilson Graves. Tough game, really good game to be challenged early in the match and get that hold. Does a lot for your confidence.
I agree. I think moving forwards, we'll start to see less errors as some of the relief happens.
Early on, I think both of these teams, you can see them kind of feeling each other out. How are they going to play? What's the other team's strategy? I like this off-eye formation from Gebbia and Delmonico, kind of Australian.
Yeah, and what it does is just, it may not stop the drive, but it takes some of the confidence out of the driver and makes them think, where do I want to put it? Do I need to put it somewhere a little bit better? Well, I think she was expecting a bigger shot. She was way out in front of that one.
Yeah, Guyaux kind of gave her an off-speed pitch.
Yeah, we've all been there. You're expecting the big one, and you're tightening up, and here comes control.
We're about 6 weeks into our tour this year, and we just had our first Grand Prix last weekend out in Chicago. We have our next Grand Prix next weekend coming to you fast and furious down in Philadelphia. Cleveland's done a great job. There's actually 4 tournaments that have happened this weekend, the men's and women's tournaments, and then 2 other Masters 90-plus tournaments. Leah Morris, our tournament director, has done a fantastic job. A lot of thanks to her organization and putting this all together.
Yeah, I think
along with the APTA.
I think everyone should realize what Leah does. I mean, it doesn't start 2 weeks before the tournament. It starts several months in advance, and we have a really great team in Cleveland that loves working together. And I think when people play the Cleveland Masters, they like coming back to it because they know they're going to get a good tournament experience. I mean, everything from the favors to the lunches to the courts they choose to play on, everything's been fantastic.
You're director of rackets out at the Country Club in
That is
Cleveland?
correct. Beautiful, the Country Club.
We have the Country Club in Boston as well.
I mean, there could be 2.
I don't know. Can you speak to us a little bit about the paddle in the Cleveland area?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So paddles actually, it's growing big time. So when you look at a tournament like this with as many skilled players in it, we don't have as many as we'd like yet in these draws. But we have, we've recently added some public paddle for the first time down in an area called the Flats, which is kind of like an old school party district that hugs the Cuyahoga River as it kind of drops into Lake Erie, and it's brought so many younger players, and it brought the west side of Cleveland in because, unfortunately for so many years, I mean, we've got, let's say, I'll use a round number. Let's say we've got 30 courts in the area, and they're all within about 4 miles of each other. So it's been limited. So having the Flats project, we've brought in hundreds of new players into paddle, and frankly, you can see it in all our leagues and our participation. It's been great. So I'm hoping it translates in a couple of years that we keep getting some of these better players developing, and we'd love to represent well here at our own tournament.
I remember hearing about the flats. It's a couple years old, but came along with the help of the APTA grants program. Is that correct?
That is correct. And the APTA was invaluable. We also had some people in town with a gentleman named Dave Bebout who was very helpful in just getting the interest from the grassroots, getting everyone excited about the potential project that had always been discussed, but no one ever really took the reins. And then Sean Richardson also did an amazing job of getting that project into fruition. So I mean, we can't thank these guys enough, to be honest. And then there's countless others that I can't possibly.
It takes a village.
It does. It does.
A little bit of patience there from Wilson Graves. A little mistake. I think if there's been one, having watched Guyaux over the years, I think if there's been one small question mark, if there are any in her game, it might be the service game. And you just saw that break there from Delmonico Gebbia to go up 3-1.
Serving's never, it's nobody's forte. No one's going to become, a serve bot like you say in tennis. But you just don't want it to be a detriment either. She gets down very low for that backhand. It's fantastic.
Yeah, with the serve, you're hoping, to not to stop a drive, but to make it as neutral of a drive as possible.
Absolutely.
Do that by placement and depth of your serve. Trying to find that serve spot in the service box that can, the player who's receiving it would be driving a little bit slower or a little bit higher, making it a volleyable ball.
That is some beautiful touch right there. I mean, that ball was on its way down off the side wire, so very difficult to get it back. That's just a little.
We have seen that all day from Gary Delmonico, all the little waterfalls and touch shots.
For the casual watcher, you think it's just a shot, but I mean, that was a calculated, I'm going to place this ball, and it's another well-placed shot right on that right hip. Whether it's tennis or paddle, you teach that shot a lot, like make him hit that awkward volley.
To revisit that Delmonico overhead, it is so subtle what she does with the ball. She just puts it in a place on the screens that makes the person receiving it have to ask so many questions. Do I take it off one? Do I try and cut it off? She's not giving you a lot of speed to work with, so it's not an obvious answer, how to prep your racket and get ready for it.
Correct.
Which causes so many mistakes.
Yes, it's like I said, you could easily, if you're not paying attention, you might think it's just a regular shot, but it's not regular shot. It's a calculated shot. Now, Wilson Graves took a little bit of a chance on the last one in driving it down the line. You'll see they're playing double back here, but now here they kind of took the delayed, almost a backwards blitz.
Yeah, baited him in, baited Wilson Graves to be a little more conservative with her drive, and then came right in and look at that placed volley.
Yeah, and now they run formation, so they're trying to get the returners off balance as much as they can, just to take any natural advantage away. And of course, you get the nick, and you look like a hero. Starting to rain out there. So, Corient. Corient is the official wealth sponsor of the APTA's 2025-26 season. Corient is a fee-only wealth manager who puts their clients at the center of everything they do. Learn more at Corient.com.
Here we go to our court director stats. It's something that the APTA has amplified for our viewers at home. I think it's been fantastic. You can see not a lot in, between the two teams thus far. I would say, Chris, one of the big things is not a lot of first shot errors thus far from Delmonico Gebbia, and it looks like they're a little bit tighter with their team strategy right now.
Of course, as you're saying that.
Right.
Oh, you're absolutely right, though. Another great low return.
And this is what they like to do. If they get a lead, they'll just turn it up a little bit. 4-1. They're just going to turn the heat up just a little bit more. See if you can handle the pressure.
Right. They may force you to try some shots that you're not ready to make yet. Some lower percentage balls. I know she wants that one back.
Yeah, that's good pressure from Delmonico,
Yep.
and she's moving forward. She's really good in hand-to-hand combat, so it's worth the risk, especially up 15-30 in the service game.
Absolutely. It puts a lot of pressure on the other team.
You can see Delmonico on the service line right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. Delmonico and Gebbia are showing all sorts of looks, whether they're serving or returning. Nothing's the same necessarily, although they're kind of defaulting back to the same strategy of being the more consistent team and mixing up the high, deep lobs with the softer, short drives. But before the points, they've been showing a little more variety than the other team.
You can kind of see the goal for Delmonico and Gebbia with that lob is to do exactly that, to get the ball over the deuce court player's left shoulder, to either back them off the net or to make the ad court volleyer have to go behind her. You could have seen miscommunication, much like that. Who's going to take that ball? It really does a nice job of opening up a drive.
It's an amazing get off the back wire and a good pickup off the left court.
I like the long chat here.
Yeah, we need to
slowing things down.
We need a hot mic down there. I want to hear what they say.
What would you be saying, Chris? Hey, where are you going to serve this ball?
Yeah.
Are we coming in behind it?
And I'm watching, like, Guyaux, she's on about a step and a half in front of the service line, and even after that first volley by her partner, she's not closing. So I'd like to see maybe a little bit more close and maybe go for some good corner shots and not let them find her feet first. You don't want to be popping the ball up early in the point, so maybe just a little more net presence.
That's a good point.
Unless she's fearful of a great lob. That may be what they're talking about. Like, let's not be afraid to give up the net if they have a full court press. Like, let's give it up earlier than later under duress.
And even that might have been too late. Delmonico knows that Gebbia is going to dip that ball down to Wilson Graves' feet. She's looking ahead of time for that low ball to pop up, and then you're running.
Now you see there, that's a press right there. Like a little frustration. They're playing some longer points and probably losing more than they're winning of the longer points. So she went a little bigger than necessary and gave an error right off the rip.
Nice shot by Guyaux. Great dipping shot by Guyaux to set up Wilson Graves' ground stroke there. So if you're Guyaux Wilson, we're down 1-5. I feel like we can play better. What else can we do against this Delmonico and Gebbia team that has come out of the gates playing as solid as I've seen them play this year?
I mean, what's coming up in a few minutes, if this trend continues, is there going to be a break? If it were to be 6-1, and then you've got to take it, you've got to call a timeout. You're going to want to talk to your partner. You're going to slow down the momentum of the other team. You're going to want to maybe, talk about which strategies you want to do. But the big thing is really taking time away and not letting that momentum continue. So whether, we'll talk strategy here in a moment, but I know one thing they want to do is literally, if it was an NBA team, they'd be calling a timeout right now.
I also feel like Wilson, Graves, and Guyaux have to find a way to spend a few more consecutive points at the net so that they can get their strategy down there.
Wilson Graves just showed if she does get a short ball, she can make them pay. So they're going to have to try and get that short ball, whether it's push them back with that tough lob or get something at their feet and make them pop it up. And then when you do get it, you're going to have to capitalize on it. You don't want to give a team a second chance or a third chance when they're playing well. That's a fantastic shot right there. Just no reason to hit it to the wire. Put it right on her shoelaces.
A good point, Chris. So many players close in there and hit that high, get excited with that high volley.
Club players love that feeling of, boy, I earned my paycheck, watch me cash it, and essentially they rip it up.
Good break of serve from Guyaux Wilson. Very important to get a little momentum in this set, regardless of what the outcome of this set ends up being. Right, we need to feel like we're coming together as a team, and that our strategy and the tempo that we want to play is coming together. New ball, which is why you saw Guyaux at the top of our screen in the blue hat serving.
And speaking of momentum,
taking a practice serve.
You saw on the other court the semis near the final at 6-love 5-1. One team seems to have all the momentum over there, and they're going to be a tough team. Morgan, and
Hallbauer, Ellie.
Yeah, Hallbauer. I mean, they're going to be a tough team, especially if they're feeling good about their game. They're going to be tough. But, this is a great match to play. Like, even let's say Guyaux and Wilson Graves aren't feeling it yet, but if they can play their way into these matches, which, we see 3-set matches all the time, and you play your way into it, by the time you get to the next round, you got to have a short memory, and hopefully you've gotten a little momentum back. Now that's just
what
great
a
touch.
Smooth get, though.
Killed her with kindness on that. Just put the ball in the back of the line and then on the side of the line. Yeah, that's just beautiful, isn't it? What I like about this match, too, is it really, especially for, a lot of our viewers, hopefully, who are club players and maybe lower-level tournament players than what we're watching here, is they're watching some players here that I keep using the word calculated. Like, they're moving the ball around. They're hitting the ball deep, trying to set up a soft shot, or they're bringing their opponents in just to push them back with lobs. Like, everything's... it's not willy-nilly, let's just hit the ball and see what they're doing. Like, these guys are really doing a good job of trying to feel each other out and force errors, not collect winners. And I think that's really good for, club players and newer to the game people to see, hey, overhitting is not the way to go, in your career until you've really got a feel for the game.
I think that's a great point, Chris. And you can see exactly what you're talking about playing out in that point, especially from Delmonico Gebbia there, and you see them push the lob deep, force the ball to hit to the middle of the court. They'll hit the open court drive. It's not hit for a winner. They did that 8 times in that point before they got the error from Guyaux and Wilson Graves.
And then what you saw was Wilson Graves kind of took a swipe at that ball because that's just pure frustration. It's they had to work really hard to, playing under what their opponents are trying to do to them, and then they didn't win the point. So it's frustrating, but she made up for it right there. So well done, Ms. Wilson Graves. Well done.
Set point still from Delmonico Gebbia.
I do like the fact they're still meeting in the middle of the court and talking because, whether this set goes their way or not, it's match just doesn't have to be over by any stretch. So they're still giving it their level best. And look, there's another great one.
Yeah, it's a big point. In 5-2, it does seem like a considerable lead, but really, with the amount of breaks of serve you get, this hold could be crucial. And so getting together there at that big moment, having a plan, where am I going to serve it? What am I coming to net behind this ball? When I get there, where are we placing our overheads? That clarity goes a long way.
Right. And of course, they know each other's games and they know each other's temperaments. But it's important to just, be there for your partner, whether you're the one who's feeling it or not feeling it. Be there for each other.
Good move there by Jessica Guyaux. Just didn't execute that. That's the right play.
That's a fantastic volley. Just feathered it right in there, I suppose.
I don't know how she found that
I don't
court.
know.
There was not a lot available there.
No, I almost think Gebbia let it go and was surprised it landed in.
You can see Guyaux going with a slightly slower serve in this game, allowing her to get tighter to net.
Yeah. I don't feel the returners are going for it too much, so you might as well play the higher percentage serve, get nice and tight, and get that point started. Delmonico and Gebbia are playing very, very just smart paddle right now. They're happy not to make the mistake early. Look at that, even that little approach shot was soft.
I think they feel right now that when they have the net, wow, that's a big drive. I think they feel that generally when they have the net that they are in control of the outcome. And so they don't need the drive to be, that closing drive to be big. They're just saying, you know what, we're coming to net. And once we get here, we're going to be a force.
Yeah, to a certain, unless you're talking about some big-time hitters, it's still the advantage to be at the net. Some of the guys definitely show you otherwise. Some of these players out here that we've watched have tremendous defense that's basically offense. But this is a little bit more of a normal paddle match. Here we go. See some nice positivity, a little fist bump there. Trying to get that train turned around.
Little unusual error from Delmonico. She usually doesn't bite like that. Takes her time on the side screen, side back.
Tough to blitz when you leave a little high, isn't it? It's like hanging a curveball. You might pay.
This is such a game of momentum, and you can see it. These teams are very even. Carrie Delmonico, it's not the wrong drive, just clipping the net, couple points in a row with unusual errors from Carrie, and now here we are at 5 serving 3.
That
Beautiful volley.
That may have been the best volley of the day right there.
Anything you can do, I can do better. We got Delmonico in the backwards hat serving here, and her partner Gebbia at net in the white hat, the forward-facing white hat. On the top of our screen, we have Jessica Guyaux in the ad court with the green shirt and the blue hat, and her partner Mary Wilson Graves in the white top in the deuce court. Wilson Graves can hit off both wings, nice and hard. It's a nice backhand.
Now, you said she played college tennis where?
She played college tennis at Quinnipiac at the same time as the great John Hughes. Shout out to John, wherever he is. the lefty who used to play with Mark Powers. They played at the same time at Quinnipiac.
Nice. Sounds like a school that's probably up in New York.
I believe it's in Connecticut.
Yeah, Connecticut. Okay. Okay.
Sometimes you can get those unforced errors from Gebbia. She likes to hit very offensively, so if you hit it hard enough off the screen, sometimes I think maybe she's caught in between choices. Little uncertainty whether to switch in the back or not. Great lob.
Ball must have hit the line because it looked out off the paddle, and we're still playing.
Before this match started, you mentioned, Jessica Guyaux's competitive nature, and you could start seeing it. You can see the visual. She's moving around a little bit more now. She's hunting the ball, playing with her legs.
I like that. Hunting the ball. I like that. I'm going to use that.
Good point from Wilson, Graves, and Guyaux. Better lobbing.
I know she'd like that back.
Moment.
I know she'd like that back.
And that's the first set. Delmonico and Gebbia take the first set. We'll be right back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA YouTube channel with live streaming, brought to you by CSM Media and Match Statistics provided by Court Director.
At Corient, wealth management begins and ends with you. We believe the more personal the solution, the more powerful the result. We treat your goals as our own. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there. It's time for a wealth management experience as sophisticated as you are. It's time for Corient.
Welcome back from a break after the first set. I'm Billy Horn here with Chris Clamp at the Cleveland Racquet Club on this APTA Tour event in Cleveland, in Pepper Pike, Ohio. This is the semifinals of the women's event here with the number 3 seed Jessica Guyaux and her partner Mary Wilson Graves versus the number 2 seed Carrie Delmonico and Lauren Gebbia. Delmonico Gebbia took the first set 6-3. Chris, what do you think might be some of the adjustments that you'd like to see from Guyaux and Wilson Graves?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm watching it, like that last game as an example. Delmonico and Gebbia are running an I formation, and Guyaux and Wilson Graves are getting a pretty returnable serve, and yet they're still willing to just push drive it or lob it deep and get the point started that way. And I'm thinking, well, if you're getting a pretty returnable serve, take a little bit of a chance. It's not an outrageous chance. It's not an outrageous shot to try and either drive it right into the body with a little pace and give them something they don't like to work with, or steered around them and maybe get them chasing that ball instead of kind of just, literally kind of wandering in and just starting with two at the net. It's not working out well for Guyaux and Wilson Graves yet.
That's a good point. That's a good point that you make there. I think, to me, it looks like, at least if you look at the two teams from the back court, you're looking at Delmonico and Gebbia, and both players seem to be very devoted to lobbing to the exact same target. They know where they're lobbing it, and they know off of that lob where they're going to be attacking from, and who's going to be attacking from which area of the court. It looks very synchronized, and they're like we mentioned at the end of the first set, when they're doing it, they're not trying to hit drive winners. They're just asking the question, can you volley this? Can you volley this? And if the other team answers the question, they go right back to it. I think we saw one point where they went to that combination 5 or more times, and it wasn't until after the 5th time that they got the error. But they're totally comfortable with playing that point over and over like that. I don't see quite that clarity from Guyaux and Wilson Graves.
I 100% agree, and I think, if you're Delmonico and Gebbia right now, like, why, you just want to set 6-3, you're not going to change your game plan. You're going to continue to do what you're doing, because why change a winning game plan? Now, it'll be interesting to see if Guyaux and Wilson Graves do provide a little different strategy here, and then in which case, then perhaps you'll make an adjustment. But until they show any kind of change, I think if I'm Delmonico and Gebbia, I'm just running the same plays over and over, knowing they're gonna win.
Yeah, you mentioned the serve adjustment from Guyaux and Wilson Graves. I think that's a great point. I don't know if they have to do a whole lot different in terms of strategy from the backcourt, or if they just have to execute better, like hit those lobs a little bit, purposefully deeper. And when we get our look, hopefully maybe we want to talk about what our target is. Are we going, so that we don't have to look out? Are we going over the center of the net? Are we hitting to Delmonico or Gebbia, one or the other on purpose? Just, again, for clarity's sake, to sharpen the tools that they have. We have Wilson Graves, who's taking us away at the beginning of this second set. She is at the bottom of your screen, serving in the white shirt. Her partner, Jessica Guyaux, in the blue hat. And at the very top of your screen, we have Lauren Gebbia returning in the deuce court with the forward-facing white hat, and her partner, Carrie Delmonico, in the ad court with the black top and the backward-facing hat, which is a good look. Intimidating. And here we see, early on, at least in this first game, a bunch of overheads purposely headed in Gebbia's direction. We're not messing with Delmonico. Delmonico has been doing such a good job of placing her lobs. I think that's a nice switch there. Gebbia is, if either of them are going to get impatient, sometimes it is Gebbia, and if you play your overheads deep enough, you can get, a little bit of a risky drive from her like that.
That's just a fantastic drive, but she's got to get it in a little bit quicker than that. She's still a step or so behind the service line, taking a half volley. The serve is soft, and there we go. She got in there. Oh, it's just a fantastic drive, though. So
it is a great drive. To your point, though, Chris, I think just you have to mix up your looks as a server, and that can be varying your serve. It can be varying, where your net player's playing, or it could be varying what you do as the server after you serve. If she has, Wilson Graves has a great ground stroke. If she were to serve and stay back, and that return went short and soft, she could drive it right back at them, and maybe not throw that in every time, but mix it around so that they're unsure of what kind of look they're going to get at the beginning of a point.
I'd say about 90, maybe higher than 90% of the returns have all been on balance forehands, and that's That's tough. That's tough for the volleyer. See, that was a better serve. Got her to kind of poke at it. They've had just a little bit of kick into her. This is the second different formation, or third actually, this game.
And that's kind of what I was talking about, Chris. I want to see it. I want to see that from Guyaux and Wilson Graves, because it is, as a returner, really hard to pick a return if you're unsure or getting a lot of different looks from your opponents to get the confidence level up on your return of serve.
So do you think if it got to a point in this match, do you think we'd see the servers just electing to stay back and give up the net to the returners?
Yeah, I do. I would like to see that. I think it could be completely situational, based on, who's serving to who. Even so much as, what the score line is in that specific game. Maybe that drive caught a little bit of Wilson Graves there. I thought that was a long drive by Gebbia, but I believe they got to that point.
We'll have to do a forensic test on that ball. Okay, so Billy, we've seen 3 mistakes off Gebbia's drive in the last game or two, so, it's not problematic yet, and they're certainly still winning and playing well, but, they got to remember this and see if, as we go further and further in the match, if that's going to be the weak link in the chain.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned that earlier, that's, Gebbia can be, that drive of hers can be a double-edged sword, where she has a very, very good drive, but sometimes it can get a little bit inconsistent, or a little bit impatient. I think that is something that Guyaux and Wilson Graves absolutely want to test going forward, because it feels to me like Delmonico is playing very sound, very solid paddle.
Right. If you look at the stats sheet, she doesn't have a lot of outright winners, but here I am talking about, say, she's not making mistakes. She made one there, but she really, out of the 4 players, I think, has probably made the least amount of mistakes. So she is really in control of the match more than anyone out here.
Even that mistake that we just watched, right? That unforced error, a little lack of footwork, but the idea of that shot was smart. It was to dump the drive below net height with Gebbia's hands at net to see if you can get the opponents to volley up and create a quick reaction from that.
Right. So, Billy, quick teachable moment there. So, Gebbia took a shot. She's basically standing in the alley, and she tried to almost take it cross court on the same side. And I know when I'm teaching a lot of club players, that happens a lot. And, if you're going to play that shot, you just got to play it straighter if you're trying to pick on that player. You don't need to actually go cross court when you're standing on this single sideline. You only get to the double sideline, so you're working with about 2 feet of court there.
Right, trying to play the angle when there is none, and just waiting for a better look.
Yep. That mistake rears its head a lot in club players and new tournament players, and I'm probably guilty of it occasionally myself. Oh, that's a great return right there. The depth was so good. She had to let it go, and then when she had to let it go, it caught the nick, and you're out of luck.
Chris, can you? I don't remember seeing Guyaux and Wilson Graves doing I. Do you remember them doing I?
They haven't done any. They haven't run any formations. They haven't stayed back. They've just kind of been presenting the same look every time. And I think at 6-3, 1-all, about to go 2-1. I think it's time to whether you stay back. Something's going to have to change, because if you continue this match the way it's going, it's gonna end. sooner than later.
Yeah, you do want to trust your skills as much as you can, and Guyaux and Wilson Graves are very good volleyers, but you also, at some point in the match, have to recognize a disadvantage and take away that disadvantage. Is one of the biggest keys to any paddle match, is making that adjustment to take away any situation that creates a disadvantage. And I think on the serve and return to serve aspect, that is one of the keys. Oh, that almost landed in. Miss hit from Mary Wilson Graves there.
That ball definitely left the stratosphere. They already have 2 points, started in the I formation twice. And I know it's not the I formation that's winning the points, but again, so if I'm, we're serving here to Wilson Graves, and Wilson Graves has a fantastic forehand. I think she could maybe try to penetrate a ball through. There we go. Give her a little, don't get me wrong, Delmonico made a great shot. So I give her credit because she kind of did what I wanted her to do, and Delmonico handled it. Billy, I don't know if you have been watching, but were any of the matches earlier particularly close for either team?
Yes, Guyaux and Wilson Graves, while they won their quarterfinal in straight sets, both sets were close. I know they were challenged. It was not.
You're right. Now that you say that,
running.
They were actually down love 3 in the second set in their last match and made a great comeback. And so I'm wondering, if I don't know if fatigue's the right word, like physical, but maybe mental fatigue. And when you get frustrated, it only exacerbates it.
That's a great point. And I think, another thing to consider as this match goes on is thus far, Guyaux and Wilson Graves have not had a lead game-wise.
Right.
So, to constantly play from a little bit down to try and even the score rather than to try and increase the score, for me at least, makes a big difference, a bigger toll mentally.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, and we always play from behind. Rarely do we ever play with a lead, and when we have one, we give it up quickly. So you make 100% sense right there.
I felt that pain the past couple of years with my Patriots team.
Yeah, but you guys are looking good now.
Yeah, so far so good. Love that lob drive combination.
Yeah, I like the way she snuck in and just gave a different look instead of letting them casually play a shot back. The fact that she's moving in may just speed up her decision making and maybe force a mistake instead of doing the same old thing. That was clever. And of course, you can't do it every time because it's no longer clever. But you got to pick and choose your moments, as you said earlier.
2-2 in this second set. And like we said, that lob drive combination I don't think is any different than what Guyaux or Wilson Graves set out to do in the beginning of the match. It just was done a little bit sharper there. New ball here. Wilson Graves serving at the bottom of the screen. Here's another service point, regardless of the fault, another service point with just standard serving formation.
Yeah. Now, I like that play, but we've got to do a better job. Delmonico's got to get that ball down. It is not about the pace. The aggressive play is the trajectory of the ball, getting it down. And she's, you're playing more or less with the lead, even though if it's 2-2 at the moment. So, you can take the chance and hit the ball high to low there.
Yeah, what you can do as the receiver's partner is you can move in. A lot of the time, Gebbia has been much closer than where she's standing now. And you can always bail if the serve looks good.
Right.
Right. If the serve's hit too deep, you know your partner well, and you know that, okay, she's not going to have the opportunity to dip that down at the person's feet. You just take a couple steps back. There's no real punishment. See, like, get that right there from Carrie Delmonico. She was in the court hoping for an opportunity for Gebbia to dip it low, and then when it didn't happen, she just took two kind of casual steps back and said, here we go, we're going to play a baseline point.
Yep. She was able, that's a nice shot. Again, it's a great play, but she just put it right into Guyaux, right into her throat, and she had to lean out of the way to make it, and she pulled it wide. It's great intention, well-intentioned.
It didn't need to be as good as she wanted it to be. But that's again, I think that's sometimes the pressure of playing from behind.
It's 100. You're 100% right there.
Niggy. I think everybody was surprised that Gebbia lobbed that ball. Carrie Delmonico was surprised she was already in the service box. I really like right now that, Wilson, Graves, and Guyaux, I would say are going 75% of their shots.
Now you see what happened there though was we had a great lob there. Guyaux kind of hits a nice deep ball. Wilson Graves is back with her on the service line, so when she drives, she could have quickly just popped the volley into a corner. But look they're both hanging out back by the service line when the other one's hitting an overhead. They're really giving up any offensive chance there. They're basically playing defense on the service line is what they're doing.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right, Chris. And it has to be credit to Delmonico and get his lops.
Oh, 100%. But it's time to get together, get your heads together and say, and listen, one of us is going to have to, as the other one's hitting, the other one's going to, like an accordion, go the other way and look for that next ball and see if we can get it into a corner and make them start scrambling. Because I'll tell you what, using that word scramble, have you seen much scrambling out there? Not much.
I don't think, not a whole lot of it.
It's a very, I keep using the same word, calculated. It's a very, they're feeling each other out. But no one's really surprising anybody with anything. Tried a little cutter there. I think she played a long ball there, and I think she knows it.
Trying to get out of the way,
yeah,
maybe.
I was going to say, hey, Billy, you know how that is. You won the point, but what are you going to do? Can't get out of the way.
This is a huge
game. That's
a
nice one right there, though. You know what? A little bit more aggressive return. She saw the ball down. She just closed big time on that shot and took time away. And that's really the aggressive part, is taking time away from your opponent.
And this, Chris, is what you were asking for from Guyaux and Wilson, correct?
Absolutely.
On their returns.
You're going to have to.
Oh, that's a nice get there by Wilson Graves. She made that look easy. That was not easy.
I'll tell you, this is a great teaching aid for these guys. They're going to be able to come back now. When they get tired of hearing my voice, I hope they hit the mute button. But I'm, watching yourself from afar and seeing these plays and the cadence of the way that the points are being set up. I think they're going to see that they could have done some different things just to disrupt the comfort level of the team in black here. Delmonico and Gebbia are just too comfortable. I will say this, though. That was fantastic.
That was
yeah.
Whether it was intentional or not.
Yeah.
We're going to pretend it was intentional.
I had
that was
to stop.
A ridiculous angle.
I paused for a moment because I wanted to make sure it was in. That my eyes weren't lying to me. That was really good. Yeah, that's frustration right there.
It's tough with the thinker.
It's
coming in so slow. You think about it for too long.
You should go bigger, and you don't want to make a mistake, and you don't go big enough, and you miss it, and it's just you shake the head. In the days you're playing well, you don't miss that shot. The days you're playing well, it's a no-brainer. But the days you're struggling, it's a chore. That's a fantastic lob right there.
So I just want to point out to our viewer at home, at the beginning of that point, Carrie Delmonico served and stayed back. She had not done that the entire game. She gave up the net. She changed the point, said, I'm comfortable from winning back here. It's a big point in this match, 30-all, serving at 3-2. You have Guyaux about to serve next, who has been broken, I believe, 3 out of 4 times. And so it's what a huge game, and that's the difference in Delmonico and a lot of other players. She recognizes that moment and makes that small change.
Absolutely. They're the team that's making the adjustments. Like, their non-adjustment is making the adjustments. They've kind of been doing it all along. Now, once they get into this formation, they're happy to be here because they've been winning the lion's share of these points.
And I think that's because, when there is a good lob like that one, I don't know if Guyaux and Wilson Graves know where they're trying to hit from, where they're looking for that next shot to come. It looks like the middle's too far open. Nice touch there by Gebbia.
Yeah, and watching that quarterfinal match, I did get to see the second set of it, and I'll tell you, Wilson Graves has the ability to step into a couple of forehands, and I'm not saying swing wild and send a message, but let's get these girls a little less comfortable up there, and if it means bringing a little heat on the hip, go for it. No, you're not going to lose friendships out there. You're playing to win, and you can't let them feel so comfortable. But it's a very nice match. But do you want to make it a nice match for your opponent?
Exactly. I think they got to put a little more pressure on the middle of the court. There's good lobs, backed up by a great drive.
I like that. And again, there's that aggressive drive, not a 100-mile-an-hour drive. It's a steep. It's diving straight downwards over the net. I mean, that's difficult to volley.
Right. The lob created a high contact point on backing up.
Yep.
And so then, as the driver, you get a contact point well above the net, and then can dip it down. And again, just like that.
Now we're starting to see some errors that are even a little uncharacteristic of them. Easy for me to say. Now, Billy, do you happen to know how long Wilson Graves has been playing?
I don't. I do know, that Guyaux and Wilson Graves have only played that one tournament together last year. So my assumption is that it is, tournament-wise, tour-wise, she is new to this experience. And you can kind of see it a little bit with the height of her contact point. The skill level and the variety that I've seen from her has been impressive.
Yes.
She can hit roller overheads, cutter overheads. I saw a one-handed backhand drive off the back screen. There's a lot of stuff there. And I think, with time, I'm hoping we see more of Guyaux and Wilson Graves this year. With some time and experience at this level, I think she's going to be a very good player.
Oh, I agree. She's definitely going to be a star on the tour. She has all the tools, and I think this is going to be a learning experience. And, I hate to see someone with a little variety and a little talent play so conservative to the point where you lose your identity. Oh, that ball thought about going over.
Something that I've enjoyed most about this early season, with APTA doing such a good job of bringing us 15 tour events, we have gotten to see a lot of new talent with the amount of courts that have been streamed. Some events have had 4 streaming courts. Every
impressive.
Event that we've shown has had 2, and you have seen a lot of new, talented players that are exciting to watch in this game, which is great. And
The APTA takes this very seriously, as you can tell. Like, they're constantly investing in new ideas. I mean, this, like what we're looking at right here with the match summary, it's fantastic.
It is, and you can see there's that one stat, that service games won. Delmonico Gebbia, 63% of service games won, and Wilson, Graves, and Guyaux, 2 out of 8, 25% of service games won. And I think that, Chris, it goes back to what you said, is just a little bit of lack of variety from them as servers to put the return, under pressure, or at least ask some questions of it.
See, look at that. That's the first time I saw an aggressive down the line in a takeover. Like, that was really good. Let's see if it works out. Either way, it's still the right play.
Good, Delmonico having no problem with that, Nick.
Pretty impressive.
Yep.
I mean, the balance there and the no panic is unbelievable.
It didn't even bat an eyelash.
Nope.
Knew exactly where it was going and hit a spot drive. This is a long day of paddle. It's a one-day tournament.
And that's new.
with
We've
multiple
never had that
tournaments.
before. We've never had it. As far as, I've been playing this tournament for, I actually didn't play this year, but I've been playing this tournament for, let's say, 20 years, and it's never been a one-day tournament.
I like it. Fast and Furious. We have the men's semifinals coming up at 5. Then we have the women's final after that, and then the men's final after that. So we got a lot more paddle coming to you at home after this semifinal match.
It'll be interesting to see, like, now that it's played out this way, we have proof of concept, if it'll continue to be a one-day tournament or if they will go back. Because, I think part of the decision-making was the inclement weather that was supposed to be coming, but it sort of skipped us, knock on wood. Thank you. And, and if it does, and if the players really like this format, and maybe it's the way we go forwards, I'm sure it'll be discussed.
Great point here.
I will say this, Billy. It's always a one-day tournament for me. Day 2 is not usually an option.
That's right. That's the same with me. In the other semi, we had Hallbauer and Morgan prevail over Parinello and Pike, so they will be meeting the winner of this match in the finals.
And what was the score of that one?
6-1, 6-0.
Yeah, they are a very difficult team.
Yeah, they're a tough team together for sure. Hallbauer brings a lot of offense. We all know Allison Morgan very well from all the live stream matches she's played with Sakura. They are a force. Whichever team meets them is going to have to bring their A game.
Absolutely.
We go Love 30, Delmonico Gebbia a couple points away. Good look by Delmonico.
Yep. Just missed it. She's comfortable. She doesn't mind going for it. Like I said, I think Guyaux and Wilson Graves are going to look back. They know they're fantastic players. We should all be so lucky to have their credentials and their results in the past and what's certainly to be in the future. I think this is a bad match for them. And they're good enough. They're going to shake it off, but it's nice. I think it's actually an amazing thing for them to be able to watch this, and they may come to other conclusions because they may know even better. But I think they are going to get something out of watching this match.
Absolutely. Experience goes a long way.
Yep. And if nothing else, it's to judge your own game and to scout out your opponent and say, what did I do that did work and what did I do that didn't work? And there's the frustration, but that's well done. Well done.
Very well done from Delmonico Gebbia, getting the win over a very tough Guyaux and Wilson Graves team. A lot of skills on both sides of the court. Delmonico and Gebbia just probably a little a little more solid, a little more together. Chris, do you have any thoughts on at the end of the match?
You know, I know we're going to see these guys, all four players, both teams, in the near future in the upcoming events, and hopefully back in Cleveland soon. So, you know, God willing, we'll commentate this match next year, and maybe we'll have different results. And looking forward to it.
Me too. That's a wrap for this women's semifinal match out here in Cleveland. We have more paddle coming to you with the men's semifinals next up for the APTA Tour. Thank you, Chris.
Billy, take care. Nice meeting you.
You too. Nice to meet you.
At Corient, wealth management begins and ends with you. We believe the more personal the solution, the more powerful the result. We treat your goals as our own. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there. It's time for a wealth management experience as sophisticated as you are. It's time for Corient.